let's come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white or gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
Good morning, Claremont Center for Spiritual Living. How are you this morning? Nice to see all of you. Mickey asked me if I had bats in my belfry. I don't know what she's talking about. Happy Halloween, happy Dia de los Muertos, happy All Souls Day, All Saints Day, and everything else that happens this week. We'll talk about a little bit of all of that this morning. I'm Reverend Tracy Earlywine, and delighted to welcome you into our Sunday morning gathering in our community of love and support and fun, because we are fun people, aren't we? We are fun people. I want to say hello to our folks that are online. We have a whole bunch that watch us every week. If not today, then soon thereafter. That's okay, because we know that in spirit there is no time and space. But that connection that we feel, that place of community, that sense of belonging, that is simply everywhere present, wherever we are. So welcome and thank you for joining us this morning. Our practitioner on platform is our own Reverend Drac Duella. This morning he'll do our opening evocation and a reading for us to get us started, and we have some fabulous music again this morning. We've got Jeff on keyboards, and we welcome back Rick Dale. And let's start, as we always do, by simply becoming present here in this moment, bringing ourselves to a place of awareness of the heart space. So if you will, take a breath, close your eyes, and let the sound of the bowl take you within. For it is in breathing into our heart space that we remember that the power of life, the power of love and light is within us. And it is from this place that we remember too that all that we are, all that we see, all that we do, all of it is simply spirit in form.
And so as in breathing into this heart space, we ground ourselves. We ground ourselves into the present moment. We unify ourselves through the groundedness, through the spaciousness in our hearts, and the shared consciousness of all of this, here and now. And so we recognize that in being grounded in this time, in this space right now, not in yesterday, not in tomorrow, that is the gift, that is the presence right here and now. That being in that silence, feeling our bodies, and hearing the sounds around us pull us into this space now. And that is the gift that is ours, that no one can take away, available to us at any time. And so we recognize that this spaciousness inside ourselves in this present moment is there at any time we want it. And we welcome it here and now. So it is. I'm going to read from The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I think that's how you say his name. Okay. All negativity is caused by an accumulation of psychological time and denial of the present. Unease, anxiety, tension, stress, worry, all forms of fear, are caused by too much future and not enough presence. Guilt, regret, resentment, grievances, sadness, bitterness, and all forms of non-forgiveness are caused by too much past and not enough presence. Most people find it difficult to believe that a state of consciousness totally free of all negativity is possible. And yet, this is the liberated state to which all spiritual teachings point. It is the promise of salvation, not in an illusory future, but right here and now. You may find it hard to recognize that time is the cause of your suffering or your problems. You believe that they are caused by specific situations in your life, and seen from a conventional viewpoint, this is true. But until you have dealt with the basic problem-making dysfunction of the mind, its attachment to past and future and denial of the now, problems are actually interchangeable. If all your problems or perceived causes of suffering or unhappiness were miraculously moved from you today, but you had not become more present, more conscious, you would soon find yourself with a similar set of problems or causes of suffering. Like a shadow that follows you wherever you go, it will follow. Ultimately, there is only one problem, the time-bound mind itself. And so in our presence right now, let's welcome Rick Dale with his beautiful music.
Good morning, beautiful people. Well, I woke up this morning and saw a world full of trouble, and so I decided to do this song. You're probably familiar with it. It's called Get Together, because that's what we need right now. And you may sing along with it if you wish, if you can sing. 2, 3, 4. Love is but a song we sing, fear's the way we die. You can make the mountains read, or make the angels cry. No, the dove is on the wing, though you may not know why. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. It's time to love one another right now. Some will come and some will go, we will surely pass. When the one that left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. It's time to love one another right now. I said, come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. It's time to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Time to love one another right now. If you hear the song I sing, you will understand. Listen. You hold the key to love and fear, all in your trembling hand. Just one key unlocks them both. It's there at your command. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Time to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Time to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Time to love one another right now. Right now, right now.
Interesting how a song written, lo, those many years ago is still immediately pertinent, isn't it? Thank you, Rick. That was just beautiful. And thank you, Jeff. All right. So we light our candle this morning for all of those holidays I rattled off when we started here. In honor of the Celtic fires that celebrated the new year, that end of the harvest, the beginning of winter. The bonfires that were designed to keep the spirits away, for it was believed that the veil between the worlds was very thin on that day. The tradition was that the Celts would return after this communal celebration and relight the fires of their own hearth from the sacred bonfire. And the idea was to bring that sense of security and community and belonging and safety into their own homes to see them through the long winter. Another story being told of the holidays this time of year is the Day of the Dead and All Saints and All Souls Day. The Dia de los Muertos is a Mexican holiday where families welcome back the souls of their deceased relatives for a brief reunion that includes food, drink, and celebration. And wouldn't we celebrate should our passed on relatives have a chance to visit us right again? It's a blend of Mesoamerican, which is pre-Columbian ritual, European religion, and Spanish culture. And it's celebrated between the 31st of October and November 2nd. October 31st is Halloween. November 1st to 2nd is All Souls Day, or the Day of the Dead. And according to tradition, the gates of heaven are open at midnight on October 31st for the spirits of children to rejoin their families for 24 hours. And the spirits of adults can do the same on November 2nd. The thing that touches me about these holidays is the assumption that death is simply a part of life, that it is simply the continuing cycle, that we are not gone forever from those that we love as much as the form that we are changes. Our ability to see and touch is different, yet the connection remains strong, and that it is possible for us to tap into that part of us that knows without our five senses that love is true, that life goes on, that there is an eternality unfolding within and around us. And so, yes, we light a candle, we light a bonfire, we light up whatever we want to light up to celebrate in order to remind ourselves that life is, and we are that life. So today, because it is a fifth Sunday, we are doing the famous or infamous Pick a Page. And the idea is that there is wisdom to be found everywhere should we but be listening for it. So let me make a little space for all of my treasures up here. So this month, this quarter, we have 3 books and a list of quotes. So we have book number 1, Jonathan Livingston Seagull. We have book number 2, A New Design for Living, which is Ernest Holmes and Willis H. Kinnear. And we have Eric Butterworth's In the Flow of Life. So 3 different aspects and a series of quotes that I just happen to like, and they're numbered 1 through something, 19. So the way this works, if you haven't participated before, is you call out a number between 1 and 4. That tells me which list to pick. Then we call out a page number, and then we call out a paragraph number. I read it, we talk about it, and then we move on to something else. All right, so a little bit of a potpourri and a practice of seeing the Spirit in everything. Because even though these are somewhat spiritual books and spiritual quotes, it works with movies too. It works with song lyrics too. You know, we can do this anywhere, in any way. All right, so let's start off with a number from 1 to 4. 3. Eric Butterworth, In the Flow of Life. I have page numbers leading up to 109. 33. Great number. Let's see what we have on page 33. 1, 2, 3, or 4? 2. When a bolt of lightning flashes in the sky and crashes into a tree, you are experiencing an illusion. What the eye does not see is the tiny leader bolt of energy that shoots down to make contact with the tree. The massive charge that lights up the sky is the great voltage of the Earth's mass flowing up to that tiny bolt into the clouds. It is not the lightning from the sky that strikes and destroys the tree, but the tremendous charge that flows from within the tree itself. This is very apropos, considering that we've been talking about trees all month. And this idea that a tree is more than what we see as an individual object, right? Without the nutrients and water from the soil, from the earth, the tree cannot be a tree. It needs that in order to be its full expression of life. And without the sun or the rain, without that light coming down from the sky, the tree cannot be a tree. It cannot express itself as its treeness. And so truly the tree is part of this continuous whole. And of course that's a metaphor for our own lives. We look to be individual. We look to be shocked by things that happen to us. But the truth is, the energy of life comes from within us. And without this give and take with the world, without this give and take between sun and light and earth and water and our own energy, life can't express fully. We are all unique, and we are all part of this greater whole. Even the parts we do not see, especially the parts we do not see. All right. 1 through 4. Pages up to 127. 23. 23 is a picture of a bird. Take from it what you will. Note, it is not a clear, distinct line drawing. It is actually from a series of pictures that starts as a photograph and gradually gets darker, more of an outline, until it is simply pixelated. And for me, this represents this idea that life appears to be solid, right? And yet we are all made of the same substance. And those of you that are scientists in the crowd or enjoyed all that atomic, or the Monsanto ride at Disneyland, any of those, illustrate that when you get down to the smallest particles, the smallest things that we can observe, what we find is vast amounts of space with small amounts of substance, creating all things, one substance. We are all of the same substance. And the form that we see is actually something that fades in and out, that focuses sharply or gets blurry depending on our perception, depending on our point of view, depending on where we are looking from and what we are looking with. That's that illusion of the lightning striking the tree. It's not quite the way it seems to us in the physical sense. Yet the greater truth is always present. It's just a matter of how we look at things. 1, 2, 3, or 4? 1, 2, 3, or 4? 4, that's quotes, and I'll take quote 10, Mickey. Thank you. All right. My life is a prayer, and I am open to being inspired, guided, and into the joy of being alive. My life is a prayer. You know, there's a great New Thought song, Our Thoughts Are Prayers. And Ernest Holmes tells us that we are always creating. If we're worrying, we're creating from our fear. If we're encouraging or nourishing, we are creating from our love. And so we are always affecting that which we look at, that which we are living through. We do not control everything that comes at us because we are part of a pool of everybody else's thinking too. And so we are we have the characteristics of the culture that we find ourselves in. Yet, we also have the ability to choose how we see things. And when we go into prayer, which is this idea of communing with the spiritual nature that we all are, connecting with something greater than our everyday seems to be, we are opening ourselves up to inspiration and to be inspiring to others. Inspiration is to inspire, to put the breath into something. It's the same root as the word spirit. So when you open yourselves up to what spirit can show you or help you to understand or help you to see differently, then you are stepping into the joy of being alive. Because spirit is life and only life in all of its many forms. 1, 2, 3, or 4?
3.
Okay, 3 and then 4. Okay, add a page number, please. 12. Could it be, I'm going to pick a paragraph. Could it be that the word flow has given rise to the word flower? A beautiful symbol of the unobstructed flow of life. Someone has said, you can trust a universe that creates flowers. Now you can see why Jesus would say, consider the lilies and how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. That's from Luke. Take time occasionally to meditate on a flower, identifying with the unobstructed flow that is expressing in such fragrance and beauty and symmetry. This is the way life should express for you. The way it most certainly will express when you are consciously in the flow. We've all had experiences of flow. You're doing something you love to do and you get lost in it. It's music, it's something with your hands, it's woodworking, it's crafting, it's sewing, it's knitting, it's cooking, it's walking, it's hiking, it's petting the cat. When you are fully present in your activities, when you are in alignment with heart, mind, and action, that flow is apparent. And time ceases to be important. How many of you have read a book all night? You're going to read one chapter before you went to sleep, and you just finished it. You're in it, right? You're in the story. How many of you have been working on a project and all of a sudden it's 3 a.m.? Right? So in that flow, we see the beauty of life. And when we stop to appreciate beauty, we are consciously stepping into the flow. So this idea that we can, wait, I want that phrase. We can tap into the fragrance and beauty and symmetry of the flower. We can tap into the beauty and fragrance and symmetry of life whenever we choose to pay attention. We see it in everything, not just flowers. We see it in faces. We see it in stories. If you're watching Hallmark movies this time of year, you hear it in the music. Flow is. And when we don't feel it, we're the ones that need to step back in. And we do that, as Drac read in his quote from Eckhart Tolle, by being in the present. Being fully present to where you are at any given time. Okay, 4. I need a number between 1 and 19. Oops, I got 2. What was that? 13, and what'd you say, Chris?
No, I passed it. I said 20.
Oh, there is no 20. Okay, 13 it is. Religious scientists are really fun. They just don't follow directions really well. We're such independent thinkers. All right, Ernest Holmes in an article in the Science of Mind text. The time has come. The power from within has come forth and is expressing through my word. I do not have to wait. Today is the time. Today I enter into all truth. Today I am completely saved and healed and made happy. Today I enter into my inheritance. Today the truth has made me free. We're taught in our culture and in a lot of traditional religions that all that good stuff comes later. Suffer through life and then you will be rewarded. Suffer through the spinach on your plate and then you can have dessert. And Science of Mind teaches that it's all dessert if you but see it rightly. So we're being encouraged here to stay present, that it's right now that we inherit the good that is ours. It's right now that we enter into an awareness of truth. In other words, an awareness of this greater energy of life that we are a part of. It's right now that our hearts and minds come together in alignment with that spiritual truth which allow us to become that flower, that beauty, that symmetry, and all that is. All right, 1, 2, 3, or 4? 2. We had agreement on that one. That's good. And a page number, please. 2. Getting there. 1, 2, 3, or 4? 2. Of course. Nothing is more certain than that things are not only what they appear to be, but are much, much more. Back of everything in life, back of everything in this world of ours, is the unseen cause. Science attempts in its endless research to investigate the nature of this cause, to try to determine what it is, how it works, and of the utmost importance, how to use it. Similarly, this is also the endeavor of unencumbered religion and philosophy, and should be the concern of every thinking man. Things are not only what they appear to be, but are much, much more. How often have we decided something about people, about a relationship, about a situation at work, about the world, and found out later that what we had decided upon, what our opinion was formed by, the decisions that we made, all of that happened without all of the information. And we might have been really wrong. And again, Hallmark movies, they're a great metaphor for life. In every Hallmark movie, there is a misunderstanding which must be explained. So you can just kind of assume that whatever it is you're doing, whenever you feel separated, whenever there's conflict, whenever you suddenly hate the person you thought you liked, chances are there's something else going on beyond what you can see. Because in the next 10 minutes, it will get resolved and everybody lives happily ever after. That's the way life works. Everybody knows. Okay, 1, 2, 3, or 4? 4. 1 through 19. 12. Your treasure, your perfection is within you already. But to claim it, you must leave the busy commotion of the mind and abandon the desires of the ego and enter into the silence of the heart. That's Elizabeth Gilbert from Eat, Pray, Love. How many of you just love to go into the silence? And how many of you can sit still for more than 33 seconds without fidgeting? Okay, so what that tells us is that by nature we are caught up in whatever's around us, right? We go for every shiny thing, we're distracted, we say squirrel, we run. And that's fun, and that creates its own energy. Yet, again, there's more to life than what appears in front of us. So you can look at the shiny object, that's fine. Just know that at some point, it behooves you to pause and simply reflect on it before you chase the next one. Just remember that warm feeling you get every so often with someone you love or doing something you love is worth pausing in, that you might let that feeling expand and fill you. If you've ever taken a real vacation, you know, the kind where you don't have anything to do, and you really can just sit on the beach and sip an adult beverage, or go for a walk in the woods and stop and listen to the birds, and you really let yourself be there, all kinds of things from within begin to surface. So you too have a lot going on beyond what appears to be happening. And within that noise and underneath all that chatter and everything that your ego tells you you need to do or be or have or get, there is something else there, just waiting for you to invite it out, waiting for you to pause long enough for it to show up. I was hoping that I had a story to tell you, but it is not rising to the surface, so we'll let that go. I'll let you find your own example of when that has happened for you. Okay, 1, 2, 3, or 4? 1. Page number, please. 23. Wait. That's the picture of the bird. Apparently, we need to be reminded that we are all of one substance, and it's not always sharp and clear, and yet it's still a bird, right? And you know what? You are not always sharp and clear either, but we still know it's you. And love is not always easily apparent, and yet we know that it's love because love is the way that life expresses. So even when it doesn't look like it or feel like it, it is still that substance of life that is life. It is still the energy of love that creates life, disguised as something else or maybe just a little blurry on the page. Okay, anybody like to pick a different page number for this book? 35? I heard 35. It's another picture of a bird. Awesome. The seagull standing in water, its reflection somewhat distorted, the one on this page. And that's life too, right? We have this object, this thing we see, and yet its reflection, it's recognizable, but it's not exact. And if you think about us as the reflections of life, as the reflections of spirit, we each have a slightly different shape in our expression. We are each unique in the way that we live. And yet it is still recognizable as spirit in form. It's just sometimes we confuse the reflection with the reality. We take that slightly distorted mirror as the real thing instead of understanding that spirit is the truth and that is the only reality. Eddie Watkins Jr. has a line in one of his songs that says, he's talking about how he doesn't always know, he's not always treating reality. And he says he tries to comb his hair in the mirror. Like he tries to comb it in the mirror to get his hair to be better. And of course you can't do that because it's reflecting what's already here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, or 4? 3. Eric Butterworth. Page number, anybody? Which one? 79. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? 5. Great is the delusion that I will be happy when ... There is no true happiness and accomplishment other than the fleeting moment of exhilaration. Life is change. The sale is made and the commission banked. The book is written. The ball game is won. Tomorrow we still have to find the vision to meet a new day. There are other sales to make, other books to write, other games to play. Happiness comes when one knows that he's in the flow of life and of the guidance to live it fully and well. Yes, there is joy in the accomplishment. Yes, in getting to the place you were shooting for. There is a sense of satisfaction. There's an energy of fulfillment. There's a lot of static in the world, and you can still feel happy. You get that in that moment. But to truly live, to fully live your life, you have to feel that all along the way. It's in every step. It's in every connection that you make that takes you closer to what your heart desires. It's everything you have to pause and stop and spend a little time with so that you can figure it out, so that you know what it's in the movement itself. To express is to press out. It's what you are doing as you are doing it, staying in the present moment of doing it, that brings you happiness in the flow of what you are doing. So that you can actually energize yourself all along the way. I'm going to read a quote that goes with this, at least in my life. How many of you wrote all of your school papers the night before? Okay. Who says you need to wait until you feel like doing something in order to start doing it? Apparently you don't. I didn't know that because, that's what I wait for. The problem from this perspective isn't that you don't feel motivated. It's you imagine you need to feel motivated. If you can regard your thoughts and emotions about whatever you're procrastinating on as something, as passing weather, you'll realize that your reluctance about working isn't something that needs to be eradicated or transformed into positivity. Good, because it doesn't work. You can coexist with it. You can note the procrastinatory feelings and act anyway. Wow, I really don't feel like doing this. I can feel myself resisting this up one side and down the other. Okay, I'll take the first step. Because what happens is that first step tells your subconscious it's already done, which brings its own energy to the process, which allows you to complete the project. It's the first step that creates the motivation, not the motivation that creates the first step. Chew on that one for a while. Okay. I won't tell you that I write a lot of my talks on Sunday morning. That's a whole different talk. 1, 2, 3, or 4? 2. Ernest Holmes, Willis Kinnear, A New Design for Living. How about a page number? 17. Oops, one moment, please. They go in order, the page numbers. You have to go in order. All right, I'm going to start the beginning of a section since it's this part of the book. What is mind? We may feel that our minds are our minds, that they are individual entities having no connection or relationship with anything else. It's important that we change our thinking in this respect. World-famed physiologist Sir Charles Sherrington, he may have been famous in the early 1900s. I've never heard of him. Maybe you have. Anyway, he was famous then. He wrote, "Perceiving mind and the perceived world are both parts of one mind. No one has ever shown the least ability to create mind, nor could any happenstance in nature ever evolve it. Certainly, the brain is a thing that has resulted from the action of biological law in the development of the human body. But as we have just seen, that's not enough. There is the mind, the immeasurable, intangible thing which did not come out of the nowhere and nothing. It has to have a source, and that source could only be something like it, the capital O, capital M, one mind or intelligence." Ernest Holmes presents in Science of Mind the all-encompassing consciousness, which is what he defines mind as, the consciousness of life. And he says that we use that consciousness individually, yet what we are using is not an individual mind, but that overarching consciousness of all. So how does that help you? Really? Anybody? You can intuit things. You can have empathy for someone else. You're able to communicate with other people, sometimes even without the same language. We have a common agreement as to what the world looks like. We don't have a common agreement on what's going to fix the world. But we do have an awareness that we share. And part of our own spiritual development is to recognize when we are thinking something that doesn't really align with what we say we believe, that we are perhaps taking on something that has been given to us, that is part of the giant pool of humanity, and we have a choice. We have a choice to believe it or not, to act on it or change it. So our mind is the tool that we use to create our lives from all of life. And the rest of that is probably a whole nother class called Treatment and Meditation, which I'll sign you up for next time we offer it. Okay, what else do we have? 1, 2, 3, or 4? 1. And a page number. 100. We haven't had any words out of this book yet. We'll see what we get this time. We have words. Okay, let me see where we are here in the story. Okay, so Gull Fletcher. Fletcher is the protege of Jonathan Livingston Seagull. He's left behind to explain things to the birds, the seagulls that come after him. So they're asking him, the crowd is asking him, "Gull Fletcher, when the divine gull Jonathan rose to fly, did he move one step toward the wind or two?" Before he could correct the one question, another was fired. "Gull Fletcher, did the sacred gull Jonathan have gray eyes or golden eyes?" The questioner, a bird with gray eyes, was in anguish for one particular reply. "I don't know. Forget his eyes. He had purple eyes. How can that matter? What he came to tell us was that we can fly. If we would just wake up and stop standing around on the beach talking about the color of somebody's eyes. Now watch, and I'll show you a pinwheel turn." But more than one gull, finding it wearying to practice something as difficult as a pinwheel turn, flew home musing, "The great one had purple eyes, not like my eyes, not like the eyes of any gull that ever lived." How often do we do that? We think that there's a magic formula that someone else did that we can do. Now, that's not to say there aren't teachers, right? That's not to say that there aren't examples for us to look at. But the physical attributes, the one step or two, the color of the eyes, saying the words in a particular order, those things are not what create the power. They're what allow us personally to find that power within us. So, if doing pinwheel circles gets you to the divine, You know what? There's a philosophy for that. It's called Sikhism, and there's sacred dance, and you can spin around until you find the divine. Or you can look at that, appreciate it, that that's someone else's path, it works for them, and you yourself may have a prayer that you recite. Or you may have a meditation practice that helps you drop into that silent, full space within you. Or you may walk the labyrinth, or read books, or journal. What matters is not the color of the eyes of consciousness, but the fact that you turn your attention to the consciousness within you so that you may fly, so that you may be that tree of the sky and the earth, the roots and the branches, all at the same time. I really enjoy your playing this game with me. It's really fun for me. And it's just good to remember that no matter where you are or what you're reading, there's something in there for your heart, something in there for your mind, something in there for your spirit. If you but ask, what is here for me? Assume that there is always something here for you, no matter what you're facing, no matter where you're standing. Because the truth is, you're always standing in spirit. You can't be anything else. Namaste. So let's take a moment and align ourselves with that great, peaceful place within. Turning your attention to your breath, for it always brings us back to this present moment, to this sense of space and time that we currently inhabit. And from this place, we open our hearts and minds to experience a sense of the presence of the One. That one energy, that one substance of all life. For within each and every heart is the deep well of love and the experience of peace. That no matter how choppy the surface of the world may seem to be, below the surface there is spirit. There is life itself. There is a heart of gold. And so from this place, I speak a word of peace. I speak a word of divine right action, trusting and knowing that in my openness to spirit, I am inspired and guided to take the next step, to be the peace in the world that I want to see, to find the creative ways to be love and be loving. For this truly is the way in which all of us are lifted up. One heart, one mind, one word at a time. And so as I see and recognize this love, this peace within my own heart, I know too that I see it in the hearts of everyone I meet. That no matter the emotion in the eyes of the people that I gaze at, beneath that is love. That where there is fear or anger or hatred, there is also the healing power of peace. That as each of us struggle to bloom in the way that we are meant to bloom, I see too the flower that is emerging. I see how the path, the flow of life is expressing uniquely through and as each one of us. And so I say thank you. Thank you for life in all of its messiness, in all of the appearances that I do not understand. I choose to go within to that heart space to remind myself that this one substance of life will live, will love, will return to peace, for that is our nature. I am grateful for everything that I understand that allows me to be that peace. I am grateful to everyone who brings their gift to the table of humanity that we might have greater peace, that we might recognize life as a giant flow of all energy, and that we might direct it according to our heart's desire for love, for joy, for beauty, for all that is good. For the truth is, life is good, for it is all God. And knowing this, I simply let it be. And so it is. All right. We have an affirmation in the program. If you will repeat after me, please, so that our friends online can join in. Today, I choose to listen with my heart. I hear the sacred in all things. I am inspired. And so it is. And let us welcome back the music of Rick Dale and Jeff.
I am inspired. In no small part because of you. There you go again. I'd like to do a song about birds. No. It's about humans. Viktor Frankl said there are two races, the decent and the indecent. And so this is a song that addresses what we are as human beings. Are there any human beings here? Yeah, I see a couple of you. Okay, it's called Nothing More. To be humble, to be kind, it is the giving of peace in your mind. To a stranger, to a friend, to give in such a way that has no end. We are love, we are one, we are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace, we are war, we are how we treat each other and nothing more. To be bold, to be brave, it is the thinking that the heart can still be saved, and the darkness can come quick. The danger's in the anger and the hanging on to it. We are love, we are one, we are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace, we are war, we are how we treat each other and nothing more. So tell me what it is that you see. A world that's full of endless possibilities. Heroes don't look like they used to. They look like you do. Treat each other when the day is done. We are peace, we are war, we are how we treat each other and nothing more. We are how we treat each other and nothing more. We are how we treat each other.
Always delightful to have you here, Rick. Thank you so much. All right, this is our time of contribution. And so I invite you to first just pause and appreciate all that we have in this life, all that we have in this community, all that we are able to do together, and all that we are building for the future. So if you have a contribution, a financial contribution today, there are baskets in the back. If you're online, there's a button to donate online. And know that just the fact that you are here brings something extra into this community. We do this for each other and with each other, and it extends out into the greater community. Whatever we do here shines out into the world. So know with me and say with me our prosperity affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. That's true. Okay, a little bit about what's going on. We got a lot going on, folks. We have our breathing meditation after service at 12 o'clock right here in this room with Ingrid. And that is a lovely way to spend 20 minutes to practice the presence of now. I want to thank everyone that helped out yesterday with Village Venture. If you were there at the booth or setting up or breaking down, raise your hands. Yes, okay, we had a good time. We blessed a lot of pets. Actually, I think we blessed a lot of dogs. I don't think there were any other pets, but we blessed a lot of dogs. We met a few people. We handed out some information about things going on here, and in general, enjoyed the scenery. It's always good to see children, dogs, and even grown-ups all dressed up in ridiculous costumes. It's really fun, yes. Wonder Woman walked by in several different forms yesterday. All right, it took a lot to pull all that together, and I want you to know, I just really appreciate the work that it took, and to Reverend Mary for coordinating all of that to get that booth up and make that happen. We had a good time, and I think people enjoy getting to know us, and that's one of the best ways we can do it. So thank you all again for being there and for helping. We have a belly dance class going on Wednesday nights. Now, I'm sure some of you have never even thought about trying belly dance. It's actually pretty fun. And everybody looks just as ridiculous as everybody else, so there's really nothing to fear. You're among friends. And it's 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock are the two different beginning classes, slightly different in format, so you can try them out, see which one you like. If you're into actual dancing, like, moving around the stage on purpose, that's called choreography, and that class is at 8 o'clock. So, yeah.
She's no longer doing that, and she's doing it by Zoom because nobody showed up for it, just so you know.
Oh, so now it's a Zoom class? Oh. Oh, I'm so sad. All right, so I'll get updated information. We'll get that in the e-blast, because I would hate for you to miss out if you had your heart set on learning to belly dance. So we'll get that out to you.
Well, there's belly dance.
Yes, we'll get it. Okay, we have a workshop coming up on Saturday, November 11th from 10 to 12:30. This is our treatment board workshop. It's like a vision board. You've all done vision boards. You've all been in Science of Mind or New Thought long enough to know that arts and crafts on construction paper is a really fun way to kind of get your ideas out there in the world. This is one specifically around spiritual mind treatment that NISA teaches, and it is a very powerful tool disguised as arts and crafts. So you don't have to know how to be crafty. You just need to know how to put glue on paper, right? And cut with scissors. And I know you all know how to do that because you all went to first grade. So Saturday the 11th, exploring prayer treatment in a playful way. It's a very fun tool for creating your life in a better way. So save the date for that. We also have, wait, I had something else. Yes, that's it. That's the one. The craft fair, the fall harvest pop-up, which is Saturday, November 11th, also from 10 to 4? Oh, so you're going to go to your treatment board workshop at 10, and then at 12:30 you're going to run outside and enjoy all of the goodies at the craft fair that will be in our hall and in the parking lot. We have vendors, we have food vendors, we have music, we have crafts being sold. It should be a blast. We have, I think, 30 vendors already signed up, and a food truck or something. And we've got I know I have a friend of mine that's coming and she's selling tamales, so, it's going to be good. So you should just plan on being here on the 11th. Yes? Yes. Let's go like this. Yes. Okay. Excellent. And just a reminder, this is holiday season. We are collecting food as always. We do this all year long, but especially this time of year. There are 2 boxes out front for non-perishable items, and they go to 2 different shelters or resource centers in the community. So that's a great way for us to be present in our greater community and help those in need. We also have Thanksgiving. I knew there was one more thing. So it's not on any of my lists, so I get bonus points for remembering up here on the fly. Thank you. I appreciate that. Wednesday night before Thanksgiving is the Claremont Interfaith Council Gratitude Service. This is a community-wide event. We were at OLA, Our Lady of the Angels, last year. It usually takes place at a different spiritual center in the community. It's put on by the Interfaith Council. So there's a little bit of everything from Native American to traditional spiritual teachings. Our work is in there. There's music, there's prayers, it's just a lovely, lovely, lovely way to start the holiday season in gratitude. So you bring your family, if you've got those relatives coming from out of town you don't know what to do with, you bring them here because we're hosting this year. So that will be here Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. If you would like to help us host, in other words, you might be an usher, you might help us get the food out afterwards, just to greet people and say hi and make sure they know where to park and where the ladies' room is or whatever, please let us know. Talk to Reverend Mary, talk to me, talk to Reverend Drack, and we'll get you set up to help us with that evening. I would love to show our greater community who we are. And part of who we are is that generous spiritual givingness of fun and friendliness. So we're going to welcome people here from all over Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. So let us know if you're interested in helping, okay? Anything else? Yes, Graham.
I think it's next Sunday that we set our clocks.
Thank you. Yes. So change the time next Saturday night. We fall back. You get an extra hour of sleep, which means you are not allowed to be late for church next week. And if you'd like to show up an hour early, that's fine. We'll just meditate longer. Yeah, so change your clocks. Thank you, Graham. We'll make sure that gets in the e-blast too. Okay, we good? All right, let's stand up, move to the aisles, and sing a little Eddie Watkins Jr.
Take a look at the person next to you and say, God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me.